And then Christina just keeps going. And then the moment she started smashing, he was like, I would die today. He was tearing off his clothes. And then the host just kept on screaming, Montoya, por favor, Montoya, tranquilo, Montoya started running to the beach house. Like, no, leave me. You will kill me today. Hello, welcome back to Think Talk. Really excited to be back, for the next episode, which is episode 26. This one is the episode of love.
Love is in the air.
Love is in the air, exactly. We'll get right into it. And the first thing is, let's talk about the last weekend. So we're shooting today on the 16th of February, which means that Friday, 14th of February was Valentine's Day. Let's talk about it a little bit, what was your experience? Did you do anything?
Nah, I've never done anything. Right? Like, I'm leaning towards being neutral about the whole idea, but I'm just super anti-Valentine's. I just feel like it's a pure marketing thing, and I see through that nonsense. And I'm really, really radical, not even the word I'm looking for. I'm so stubborn about it, like, nah. I would do something to my partner or for my partner like on the 13th or 15th, but never on the 14th.
I feel the same as well. I'm with you, man. I feel the same as well. Like, it's completely a marketing thing. What's the whole point of choosing one day, February 14th, and say, this is the day where you show love to your partner. This is the day where you guys do something or whatever. Like, I also didn't do anything, but you don't do anything because it's the 14th. Almost like because it's the 14th, that's exactly why nothing should be done. But I don't know.
Like, nothing can say control than that. That's how I see it. It's like if you're talking about matrix or being controlled or whatever, that's one very clear example. Because why? I decide when I do things and I don't do things, right?
I wonder if there is a scenario where our partners just feel like, nah, like this guy's a boy, he never does anything on Valentine's.
I've had that in the past, but I feel like if I would have that problem with anyone consistently, we are not supposed to be together. Because for me, it shows the reasoning level. No, it's not even light. It just shows how our perspective towards the world is. And we have to be able to reason on that same level to fully understand. I'm not going to force you, but if you want it, then I know, like, I know the kind of person.
I know what you're saying. And it's very good that you made that clarification, because I can already see the comment section saying, oh, this guy will let go of a relationship because he doesn't want to do Valentine. But it's not about the Valentine. It's about someone being with someone that looks at one date that have been told to her or to them by society that this is the day of love, and making that a defining factor for a relationship that is healthy. That's where the problem is. But it could also be a selfish perspective just because of how we think about Valentine's also. But you mentioned that you haven't done it before. You've never participated. Yeah?
Nah.
I actually have a story.
Your personal one?
Yeah, personal story, man, bro. Like, I participated in Valentine once and once only in my life. This was a very long time ago. Very long time ago. I was in SS1. There was this girl, I don't know if I can mention their name, but there was this girl that I had a crush on back then. Kudirat. She was one of the uniquely beautiful girls in school back then. You know how, I don't know if you remember back in school, in secondary school, you would have girls that people would be like, oh, that's fine, and then they'll be like, but there's one hidden gem that she's the finest in the school. It was something like this. She was a very uniquely pretty girl, very gentle girl and all that, and I had a crush on her. So I was like, okay, Valentine's Day, foolish me. This is why I was foolish, I was foolish in the past. Bro, I was because I thought instead of actually engaging her directly and all that stuff, let me make a grand gesture.
As a romantic that you are.
Bro, I was cooked. I was cooked, yeah, as a romantic guy. Yeah. I wasn't even romantic, but so what I did was, I went to a store. I got perfumes, I got chocolates, I got all that stuff, all love shapes, super red, and I got a card that I actually wrote a message into, but it was a message of actually asking her out to be my Valentine's, but be my girlfriend as well.
That's not a bad move.
Yeah, but I feel like it was just a fucking better move. It was a dumb move because I could have aligned with her before, like, hey, but you know, I was a young boy, didn't know better, but it's fine.
It was a pick me move.
Yeah, exactly. I could have aligned with her. Like, look, this is how I was feeling about you. What are you saying and all that stuff. I didn't do all that, and because I didn't align, it also meant that it could potentially become a competitive situation where I brought a gift, another guy brought a gift, another guy brought a gift.
I see, yeah.
Right. So, but you see, that was just silly, and this is why I called myself foolish back in the days. I'm definitely not foolish anymore, but yeah. Bro, I bought the gift. I had it in a park. And I put it under my desk in school. And then I think we had chemistry class or math class or something. And the teacher saw that some students were talking to each other, so he decided to move us to different seats. I thought this was like my perfect lucky day because the teacher made the switch and bam, sat me beside this girl.
Nice.
Hey, you would think, oh, this is the universe talking here. And what the teacher then did was that moved her, a friend, to my desk.
I see what this is going.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I forgot to put that gift that I had under my desk into my bag before I moved. Yeah, so I went I switched seats and I just continued the day. Just so you know how unromantic I was, I completely forgot about it. Like, I completely forgot that I actually bought stuff and brought it to school for her. And the whole day went by. She was sitting right beside me. I didn't do anything. Bro, this is the most cooked part of it. So, two crazy things happened. This is what makes this story crazy. We went for break. I came back in. I saw a mother on his knees asking out to be Valentine's.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I was going to go back to that.
Wow.
Bro, and I was going to go back. That's it. Now, what's crazy is, it hurts a little bit because the guy that did this, you know how you're in school and you had, like, people have different things that maybe might make you a good fit for girls. Like, okay, that guy, you would say, well, if she went for a guy that was like super different from you, that had something super different from you, then maybe you don't feel too bad. Like, okay, let's say I was a bit short at that time. I had more like the geeky thing going, like all book stuff. And someone that was like a party guy, tall gym guy comes along. I'll be like, it's cool. Yeah, he got it. I think yeah, it's fine. But the guy that actually, asked out for the Valentines was another geeky guy. It was actually the top guy in class for like book stuff. Like another very, well-behaved boy like me.
I see.
And she was like, I think she said yes or something. I can't remember. I think she said yes. And it's very funny how life works because it was like, okay, I don't want to say this other part, but anyways, she said yes, and I went back to my seat. Still, I felt a bit bad, but you won't believe that I still forgot about my gift in the desk. At the end of the school day, I was going home, still I've forgotten my gift. Still. And then I just saw this girl and a group of friends blocked me in a corner. They're like, we want to talk to you. Wham! What did they bring out? My card with a name on it and everything.
How did you even forget that? Man? Like, that would be the only thing,
bro,
on my mind if I had any grand.
That's how you know that I was the fucking least romantic guy. It was just like I wanted this uniquely pretty girl that everyone was talking about to be mine. Something like that. Maybe an egotistical bullshit as well. Bro, wham! I saw the card. My
Your liver cut.
my chest was like, boom. Yeah, I was like, what the hell? And then they asked me. Wait, before I even tell you what I did, yeah, they asked me, what's this about? I saw it under your desk. It has your name. It has our name as well. What is this about? What would you do in that situation?
I would have still like, I would have said everything that I wanted to say and be like, yeah, that was supposed to be like a present for you, but like, I wanted to give you at the end of the day or at the end of school day or something like that. I would have, yeah, that would be my response.
You'd have owned up to it, right?
Because you never know, right? Because I would still like
to know if she would say yes to
no. It's not about the yes. I'm putting it out there and that's it. I can go back home and sleep at night and not wonder what if,
what you just said now made what I did even the craziest ever, man.
What did you do?
Bro, can't imagine. The moment they asked me, oh, what is this? Bro, my head was like calculating. The fact that I forgot, the fact that I saw that she said yes to another guy's Valentine's request, in my head was already spinning and calculating the idea that, yeah, I don't want her anymore or something. Bro, I lied. Like, big fat lie. Bro, oh, is this yours? What is this? I was like, oh, actually, yeah, I mean, where did you guys find that? I brought that to school because I have another friend that bears my same name, that has a girl that bears our name in another school.
You cheating now. Why get it? Yeah, that's why it's
the worst
thing. Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, I'll probably have done the same.
They ganged up on me, man. They ganged up on me, man. Bro, there were like 5 of them. They cornered me and they were like, what is this? They were reading the letter. I'm like, I lied. And the lie was so bad. I'm not a good liar, but that one was even like, what is the probability that there's someone with my name that is interested in someone with our name in another school? and we are friends.
And her. yeah, that was wild, man.
They were just like, okay.
like an easy way out, sort of, because it's sort of over.
Yeah,
already.
and fast forward to SS3, I thought if I had owned it, she might have said yes to me as well. Because other things happened that then made it seem like, oh, you chickened out, but it could have been a yes. But at that point as well, honestly, like, yeah.
That was one thing that I know for me that hurts me the most about asking a girl out or whatever. And I think maybe it helped me with the whole, dealing with me or like getting girls to go out on a date and stuff. I mean, it's like, I would never want to feel like I could have. Like, it could be glaring like she's not into me. Like, like 90% chance that she's going to say no. But it's better to say it and get the no. Because my imagination, then you start messing with yourself. You start thinking,
man,
maybe she could have, you start just messing with it. And I don't want that, man. It's like, I actually have a story. It wasn't Valentine, but it was something close to that. It was an embarrassing moment, actually. I won't mention the girl's name. It was still quite recent. It was in Hall 9 during our master's program. I think I must have shared this with you before. So there was this girl. We became quite close. I didn't really know like she was into me like that. But later I started figuring out, oh, I think we are not just friends. She really is into me, right? Yeah, we started sharing things back and forth. And we got to a point where she asked me like to make her some some like cool, chilled, sort of romantic Afrobeat music that was like the playlist sort of, but not like sharing like a Spotify link or Apple Music link or whatever. It's like I had to download them and put them in a file, in a folder, in a flash drive. Coincidentally, that same week, we had a presentation, right? And when you want to present something, you have to like put it in like unless you're using your own computer, right? So you can put it like
I think I remember now. Oh,
Yeah. Then
oh.
I just lost like track that I already did that, and it was in the same flash drive that I was supposed to use for the presentation. So like I was supposed to present. I put my flash drive like in the computer that was already projected to the whole class, and there was this folder that was the most mushy title that you could ever come up. Something like Angela's something playlist, and it was a full name. So it wasn't like just one name; it was like a full name.
Oh my goodness.
And it was projected to and she was also there, and
Graduate classroom.
and everyone was like, ooh, so you guys are sharing. I had to go through the whole presentation just acting like that never happened. But like, but it worked for me though, because everyone then started feeling like, oh,
well, I mean, at that point you could
guy.
own it. Yeah. I feel like, I mean, at that point it's okay. So if I like her, who's gonna hold me to that? You know what I mean? Like, if I want her, so what? I mean, now thinking about it, Valentine was just never my thing, man. Because a year after that happened, exactly a year after, I also had my own very nasty Valentine's moment where I was like terrible to someone. I didn't know it at the time, but just because I didn't know anything about the whole, like I didn't really care about it. I remember having a junior back then, and I think I was in now SS2 or SS3, and I was coming out of the bathroom. Yeah. This girl, she was actually a very nice girl and all that stuff. She didn't deserve that, but I just didn't know. So I was coming out of the bathroom, and she was going into the bathroom. She found me, and then she was like, "Hi, how are you? Hi, So, Malik, I wanted to ask you something. Can I get you a gift on Monday?" You know, Monday was Valentine's Day.
That's sweet.
Do you know what I did? What's happening on Monday? I was like, why? What's happening on Monday? And she's like, I'm sorry. Bro, that was the last day she spoke to me ever. Now, in her head, she might think I knew exactly what was happening on Monday.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, woo.
Yeah.
But honestly, I had no idea.
I know. Yeah.
I had no idea that Monday was Valentine's Day.
Because you already took a lot of courage, like peel, to be able to even push yourself out like that.
And I was just like, I was so nonchalant about it. That was terrible. Like, even though it wasn't intentional, I still feel like, nah, that was terrible. And I'm sorry if she ever gets to watch this. I'm sure she will remember. I'm sorry. I didn't know. But that was, my goodness, what an experience. In the spirit of love as well, have you seen, I forgot the name now, it's so painful. There's a trending Spanish reality TV show.
What is it about?
It's like Love Island. Let's put it like this. It's a Love Island. I think it's even on an island or something, or at least at the beach. And it's like, you know, they put a bunch of good-looking girls and guys in a place, and, you know, they have a swimming pool. They have, and, you know, there's drama. There's drama. But the type of drama that is in this one is a bit crazy. And you know how Big Brother does this thing where, like, if you watch Big Brother, it's a very popular one globally, right? Big Brother, they, like, all these Big Brother shows, they record what's going on, right? And then sometimes you go into the room, I forgot the Big Brother room, where the confession room or something, and they might show you a recording of what has happened before, what you did, if you were lying about it or something, or what someone did to you to create drama. But this one's, the way they try to create the drama is that they show you videos of the partner that you chose on that show smashing another person. And there was one trending guy, his name is Montoya. Bro, Montoya suffered, bro. Bro, so a quick story of the Montoya one. And we have to show it somewhere, because Montoya was at a party in that show, and I think he danced with it. It was a bit close with another girl. Now, the girl that he chose, let's say his girlfriend, she got jealous, and she was like, oh no, they are too close. So what does she do in return? She twerks on another guy, kisses another guy, like the same guy, went into the room and rode him really hard, bro. If you see, she was going hard. Like, and you know what's crazy about bro? What's crazy about it is that she wasn't only going out; she was initiating stuff. You know, she would be like, "Oh, what do you have on
Yeah, that was revenge.
Oh, that's heavy.
Revenge
That's like a
sex
truck."
and boyfriend. Yeah.
Bro. You know what made it crazy was that the way Montoya must be a great actor because the way he communicated his pain. So basically, when they call you into that confession room, it's like an open under a tree in the beach, and then the house is like super far away.
Yeah.
So they put an iPad in front of him the first time to watch. As he was watching, he was screaming at the iPad.
Por favor, Montoya. ¡Cabrón! ¡Montoya! ¡Montoya! ¡No te amo! ¡Montoya, vuelve!
Te estoy deseando, tío.
¿Dónde está? Montoya, por favor. ¡No te amo! ¡Ah! Montoya! Montoya!
So let's say the name of the girl is Christina or whatever. Hey, Christina! And it's in Spanish. I only watch it with subtitles. I don't speak Spanish, but imagine the way Spanish speakers speak, Christina, por favor, Christina! and then Christina just keeps going. And then the moment she started smashing, he was like, I would die today. He was tearing off his clothes. And then the host just kept on screaming, Montoya, por favor, Montoya, tranquilo, Montoya. Montoya started running to the beach house. Like, no, leave me. You will kill me today.
I mean, that was the perfect response. No?
What would you do if you see something like that? So you're in a TV show like this. You know that everything is being recorded. The girlfriend that you chose on the show is smashing another guy on the show. And they're showing you live as it's happening. What would you do in this situation?
I think I will be aware enough to remind myself that this is still all games, right? Because this will be different, like in a real life situation, right? But I think it will mostly be the same reaction that I would have. I think I won't necessarily react like that. I would definitely try to internalize the pain, find a way to externalize it later on, but. Yeah, I would just be done and be like, okay. Me watching it, that's the problematic part.
Like he's watching it as it is happening. so like think about it. I feel like what people don't understand is like even in those dating shows, the pain can be real. Because as humans, like even if it's a game, we immediately connect like that. Right? And now you're watching it as it is about to happen. As it is happening. In his head, I feel like you might even be wired to be like, can I stop it? If I scream loud enough, will she hear in that house and maybe stop what she's doing? Because it's live. It's not a recorded video. Just showing him live.
I would just shut down. Yeah, I would definitely shut down.
The guy was like, I'm finished. You have finished me. He was tearing off his clothes. He wanted to dive in the ocean. I was like, Montoya, por favor. Bro, it's crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
that's a crazy show, bro. Now, what pissed me off a little bit was that the guy that was smashing Montoya's girl.
Yeah.
Do you know what he did? He came out shirtless with his boxers only, and it was just holding Montoya's girl like this, rubbing her, and just like Montoya was screaming, "You will kill me!" He was tearing off his clothes. Montoya, and this guy was just like. And then this girl, not knowing that he watched everything live, was also shouting back at him like, you went to do this with another girl, you were dancing too close. I see, without knowing. And then one Montoya was like, I saw everything. You did this, in Spanish. The girl started crying, ran back to Montoya and was like, I'm sorry. She was crying.
Yeah. I'm not even sure how I'm feeling. There is no way. Like the bit where the guy is still acting, that's also showing you like the difference in like the house and outside of like in reality. For example, you are with another man's wife or girl, and he walks in on you, and you are still. Come on, you get what I mean? It's like you will be done for, man. You are picking your. Not even anything. You're not picking nothing. You're jumping from the nearest box that you can see. exit, you know? So like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Because the pain might be too risky to stay there. Even if you know that as a guy, right, you don't have, or as a woman, you don't have the problem with the person that whoever you caught cheating is cheating
Yeah.
with. I think for that person, the danger is so real that you might get shot.
that you don't know what he's gonna do. Yeah, you know, as a man, what that pain feels like.
Yeah, bro, and you know, the crazy thing is that it didn't end there. This girl, Montoya forgave her, and she did it again.
And that's sort of real life too, because that's what would happen most likely in real life too.
Do you know,
She
do you
would
know
do
the
it
funny
again.
thing? When she did it again, because of Montoya's behavior before, they didn't let him watch it. So because of his behavior before, they told his friends to watch it and then describe it to him.
They shouldn't even describe nothing, because how do you describe that kind of thing?
Well, you know, he was just standing in the corner, and when they wanted to describe stuff, Montoya was like, "Nah, I can go."
Exactly.
He was like, "Don't worry, I heard the head."
Like, nah, just tell me what she did and that's all. Yeah,
Oh.
I don't want to know the details, you know.
Yeah, but you already heard that. Yeah, that was a funny show. I don't remember the name now, but we have to find it. It's a Spanish reality TV show. It's just weird.
Yeah, they have a lot of these things. I feel like, yeah, English ones are just trying to catch up. When it comes to like telenovela, all these like, yeah, bro, they have a lot of those. A lot.
So, this one is a bit political, but it's not exactly political, yeah? It's Elon Musk bid for OpenAI, the $97.4 billion bid for OpenAI. What are your thoughts about this? Like, what do you think it was trying to do? Is it too much? Is it too little? What was it trying to achieve? What did they achieve with that?
I mean, I saw the news, but I didn't really fully follow what then transpired after, or what has been happening since then. I feel like we've been talking a lot about Elon also, maybe even more than Trump, the president himself. Well, that's sort of what people are saying, right? Like, it feels like he's the president now, right? So one thing that I would say is I saw Sam Altman's interview where he was talking about, yeah, he's a bully, he's this and that, and I totally agree with that. I feel like, yeah, what I feel is that Elon is just this guy that is now power drunk, that is losing a lot of touch with reality, that he doesn't know how to act anymore, or at least it doesn't care about the masses anymore. It just feels like I'll do whatever and I'll get away with it because I'm probably one of the most powerful people in the world. Not probably, he's one of the most powerful people in the world, and he's using that to the full length of the power that he has, and it sucks. Yeah.
But I mean, Sam is not a victim in this case, anyways.
I don't like him either.
Yeah, I'll tell you a bit of the background of what's happening. So at the moment, yeah, OpenAI is a non-profit, and Sam and the following other investors that are still involved with OpenAI, they want to make it a for-profit because there's so much money to be made. Now, to make it a for-profit business, there's a bit of legal brouhaha that they have to go through. And what has to happen is the non-profit arm of OpenAI has to sell the ChatGPT, the AI solution and whatever that they have, to the for-profit arm of OpenAI. This is what needs to happen. For that to happen, the law says that they have to buy it at a prevailing market rate for that solution. Yeah, so that they can't simply say, well, we sell it for $1, and then you're basically creating a situation where a company have benefited from non-profit advantages, rose up to a very good valuation, and then the owner can just switch like that. So what's stopping for anyone opening a company, going for the non-profit registration and claiming all the benefits that comes with being a non-profit, then suddenly just selling to yourself again at $1 and say, now I'm for profit, right? So you scale with the benefit of non-profits, and then you go back to for profit. So basically, the law states that you have to sell at the prevailing market rate. Now, what Sam Altman has done is that they put ChatGPT's valuation, so the AI solution, the valuation at $40 billion. So he wanted to pay $40 billion to himself, to the non-profit arm, to get it to be a for-profit business. From your perspective, is ChatGPT's or OpenAI's business at $40 billion? What do you think about that valuation?
Yeah, I think it's way more than that. Definitely.
What would you
ChatGPT.
put it at if you would guess?
Oof, definitely above 100. Definitely.
Yeah, I would go for something around 350
Yeah.
to $400 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then it's going for, 40 billion. But Donald, sorry, not Donald, Donald Elon,
Elon Trump.
Elon, oh my goodness, Elon Musk being that he has XAI and Grok AI and all that stuff that he's trying to push. He wanted to slow down competition, right? So that bid wasn't really a bid where he wanted to sell because they actually withdrew the bid later. Yeah, so he wasn't interested in buying OpenAI. He just wanted to create the record that there's another prevailing market rate that they rejected, which means that they believe that the valuation is more than the 97.4 billion.
Yeah.
And now for Sam and his people to buy from the non-profit to the profit, now it will be very difficult for them to still go ahead with only putting $40 billion down.
Yeah.
It's money internally, but what it means is that you tie capital down on another platform, like you just ties their capital down, slows them down for a few years.
Yeah.
And Elon wants to make sure that at least they're tying 100 billion down.
That's why when I saw that, I felt like it was actually kind of less aggressive with it because he could have said like 150 or 200 and that would be quite problematic for them. That's a lot.
Yeah, but the risk with that is like what happened to him with Twitter, where he put in a bid for Twitter, withdrew the bid, and then they took it to court and forced him to buy Twitter.
I don't think he will back down from buying OpenAI.
Yeah, but he has already invested a lot of money in XAI. So he has his own bid that is going now.
Yeah.
Buying OpenAI would now mean merging them, and mergers can be another. It would slow down X.
Yeah, I see
if he
what
wants
you
to
mean.
merge them. Yeah, but then running them separately as well would be quite inefficient. So he has picked his boat to row. I'm backing my XAI, but I need to deal with competition, and that's why it's like, let's set it. And it's a very smart strategic move, no? I mean, it's just you put your team together, figure out what we can do.
It is what it is, man. Yeah.
Exactly, and they tell you, look, the law states is doing this. This is figure out what we can do there. But that's what happened with that one, which I find interesting. Also, Facebook, Meta, they're laying off a lot of people. Now, layoffs are not new. It's unfortunate, and it's happening a lot in the recent years. Like the last 3 or 4 years has been packed with layoffs and layoffs and layoffs since COVID. Since the COVID boom, they just keep going. And I feel like at first I was thinking it's because of the overhiring from COVID, but I think another thing has happened as well. So I think some layoffs at the moment is still happening because they're overhired. So I heard recently from a guy working for one of my friends working in another company that they got PE investment, and the PE guys put their investment in based on the idea that the growth rate will be similar to growth rate during COVID. And that's like slashed by 80% or something. So now they're only getting 20% of the growth rate that they initially planned for, which meant that they had just hired like a bunch of people. And to this 2025, they are still shedding that load. But there are also companies that were quite aggressive with their initial layoffs, that they have already shed a lot of load. But with the introduction of AI, a lot of things are now automated. Efficiency has also drastically improved. And that's why we're seeing these newer layoffs. Now, why this is worthwhile to discuss, because, well, there have been a lot of layoffs. We know it's unfortunate. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it, especially in countries like the US. But why this is important to discuss is that the way Zuckerberg has done the recent Meta layoff is a bit interesting. He hasn't sold it as we are laying off to restructure. We are laying off to cut costs. He sold it as we are laying off low performers, and has managed to go to all the media channels to say this is what we are doing. What do you think about that, especially for the people that have now been labeled low performance? And we all know that being laid off or labeled low performer in a big company like Meta is not necessarily true. But now you have the CEO running around to say this is the case. What do you think that means for the guys that have been laid off, that are being laid off?
I saw a video that also was talking about a guy was saying, yeah, he has a friend that he knows for sure that probably they even work at Meta to. Nah, I don't think he would be working in Meta to be able to make that kind of video. But he was claiming that he knows for sure that he's not like one of like the low performing guys, and yeah, his performance review and everything didn't say that, and it was also sort of laid off. So that just sort of explains everything, right? It's like, doesn't feel like it is true that these guys are like low performing employees. A lot of these companies are pivoting into AI, right? Like into AI tech, and yeah, I think they are moving to this. The new thing is a lot of PhD guys in mathematics, and they are getting a lot of offers than your typical just back-end developer or like product developer or something like that. So it's more like the statistic guys, the maths guys, and PhD level, not even masters. Like that's like the requirement now, because that's what really, those are the people that are working on something like substantial when it comes to AI. Maybe that's the direction they are heading towards, because Meta is also trying to position themselves as one of the powerhouses when it comes to AI. Yeah, so I think, yeah, that's why
The amount of programming job postings out there, it's reducing drastically. But what's even more
like
interesting,
none, bro.
It's crazy. And I remember, I told you, Ibrahim, like, this is a funny thing. We had this conversation about a lot of people going into, oh, you studied that. Everyone just thought that the way out was go and learn coding, go and do this, go and go
data analytics.
Like,
this, yeah.
Like, what about the other career? You literally you got a master's or MBA for something. They're still going to a business. They're still going to agriculture.
Because they were paying ridiculously well, man.
At that time, but it was so. I don't think it was
yeah.
not clear to see that there was a bubble, right? Because now you have a bunch of people earning 400K from a 6-month course. That cannot last. Well, what's more interesting as well is, yeah, that's crazy. Do you think it's right for Zuckerberg to run around labeling these guys low performance, even though we know from the example as well, it's not true?
You shouldn't be surprised. I mean, Zuckerberg is that guy that is willing to do anything to win. He's also very, very competitive. He says a lot of things. It's like he was directly going head to head with Apple. And I'm like, you don't want to come for these guys. You don't have your own operating system. Why he was going around on his media tour saying, yeah, Apple is charging them this. You're not the only one, my guy. Like, X is paying it, everyone is paying it. So you're like, yeah, he was also talking about their AirBud. He's just someone that doesn't really do well when he's being beaten in a competition or something. So he will do anything to stay winning. See how he pivoted from previous administration to Trump's administration. He withdrew all this our DI whatever equity initiative. I'm following what the current president is doing. That's the kind of guy Mark is.
I remember Aliko Dangote saying that one rule that it would give any budding entrepreneur: never go against the government of the day. And you might make the argument that it makes sense for Zuckerberg to do that because now he employs hundreds of thousands of people. Now they're only firing a bit. What if they have to fire every one of them because he decides to go against the government of the day, for example? And also on the Apple one, I think that's more. It's not direct competition. It's more just being an unnecessary monopoly ecosystem or supply chain.
But he's doing that also.
Is he doing that? Like, is it not easy for like anyone that needs Instagram's API and all that stuff? Like, I did different, because this is the issue with Apple, right? It's saying that they develop their AirBud, for example, with a specific stuff that then when it connects with something else, it's not good enough. And that's why no one is developing a competing product. Like Apple's lock-in problem. the operating system thing as well. Like it's more the app market, and it has Android as an example. It has other operating system as an example of how to do that better.
I know, but it's not coming from the right messenger, is my point. It's like, I've always been pissed when it comes to Apple's monopoly and the way they are dealing with. Like, see how they just shut out TikTok because of whatever. All these things, we should just be able to go to any website, TikTok's official website, download their app, not having to give Apple like 25% of any in-app purchase or whatever. They are making ridiculously crazy amount of money, but it shouldn't come from Mark, right? This is the same guy that tries to buy everything. If they are not selling to you, you try to copy everything and shut them out. You did that for Snapchat. You almost did that for TikTok. So my guy,
even for X, with Thread, it's done everywhere.
Exactly.
He's a very competitive guy, and he uses his might to become even anti-competitive. Like he buys everything that might be a problem to him or something. I really wish that they wouldn't do that layoff thing that way, anyways, because now I can imagine recruiters basically just asking you, "Oh, yeah, X Meta, which year?"
the low performance year.
Like they will still take you because there's this interesting thing about talent, right? Just because you were in the room in Meta for a few years, you have gained something valuable for another firm. Yeah. So they will still take you, but it's a good opportunity to try to undercut you. And I don't like that. But anyways, minor stuff. There's a big one that we haven't discussed. This one is about the Super Bowl performance. Yeah. Super Bowl performance. More importantly, the halftime show of Kendrick Lamar. What are your thoughts?
Oh, you heard that when you were.
Are you already hearing the song? Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
How do I say this? I feel like it's a bit of a mixed bag for me. It was a great rap performance, like no doubt, solid, probably one of the best in recent times, right? But as a Super Bowl performance, putting into consideration that they have this diverse sort of audience globally, I feel like maybe it was too narrowed in terms of this for the culture mentality. That's what a lot of African Americans are saying. Like, oh yeah, you don't understand it. It's for the culture. But Super Bowl is not just black culture, right? It's an American thing, and I feel like that's where I'm not really sure how to feel about the performance, because it could have done something different. It chose to do that, and there were other songs that I was expecting him to really perform. Then I was hearing like because of some legal issues with his previous label, he couldn't do some of those hit songs also. So yeah, great performance when it comes to like Not Like Us. Like everything looks really nice. Like the whole thing, Samuel Jackson as a cameo.
You're not talking about Serena's cameo.
I find that quite tacky in a way. I saw that and I thought maybe they were expecting people to sort of cheer or something. It just happened, and people were going back to now make it a thing. But when it happened, it was like when Samuel Jackson came out, like that was a cheer, that was a scream, like, oh, Samuel Jackson is on the stage. But he was like creep walking and doing all this, and it just happened for like 5 seconds, and that was like it didn't sort of hit. That's what I felt.
Because a lot of people were like, they didn't even sell it as that. There was no introduction, there was nothing. In fact, people were like, is that Serena? Is that not Serena? I think that was the plan. They really wanted something short. I think she talked about it as well on Twitter. They wanted something that was just like a quick blah blah blah. But there's a deeper meaning to it, being that she's Drake's ex.
If you were the current boyfriend, how would you feel?
So this is not a crazy thing. If I was a current boyfriend in Serena's situation, I'm not sure I would have felt bad. Do you know why? Drake has been bashing Serena's current husband like hard. So he didn't let it go. It's not that they dated and everything. She went on with her life, and Drake was bashing her husband, bashing her. So now this is her almost defending her husband. So this might actually make the guy happy. She's making it clear. I don't with you. Guy, step back, man.
Yeah, I see.
I have a mixed feeling about the Super Bowl performance as well. I'm with you on how It was very deep for a hip hop fan. It was a lot of hardcore rapping and all that stuff. But I will ask you this question: if you want to judge what for the Super Bowl organizers, what would we consider the successful show?
Oh, it was a successful show.
Yeah, what I'm saying, because it's now the most watched Super Bowl halftime show ever, above Michael Jackson. Actually broke Michael Jackson's record. So for the organizers, whether for good or for worse, it did the job that it's supposed to do. On top of that, Kendrick managed to do whatever the he wanted to with regards to, I don't have to change. I don't have to, the whole biggest hype of it was not like us, right? So I can be us unapologetically. All black dancers, all black. Samuel L. Jackson being Uncle Sam and all that stuff. There were like too many statements there. So I understand the black Americans in this, African Americans or black Americans in this sense, that it was a show for them. But I think that's fine as well, even though it's a Super Bowl performance. Imagine there was a rock performer at the Super Bowl. Do you think they would slow down their for the black people? Or do you think they would just go there and do whatever it is that they wanted to do?
No, I feel like even for the culture, there are like other songs they could have done. Even with now still capping it with like Not Like Us at the end of the performance. But now I'm understanding that it has some legal issues with, I forget the name of the record.
What was it? Aftermath before, no? Maybe this is a legal issue with TDE instead.
No.
Because it's still with Aftermath, I think.
Yeah, with the previous one, not like,
it has always been with Aftermath.
With the performance, he made so much money because like all the songs that he performed, he owns like most of the like catalog or like whatever, like, so he's getting paid like 80%, unlike if he had performed some hit songs from the past, he will be getting paid like 20%.
This is the part between, because I fully understand, I agree with you that it might be a bit difficult for non-hip-hop guys, non-hip-hop heads to enjoy that show. I might not see none like us part of it, but it might be difficult because it was heavy on rap, man. Kendrick was just going. I
couldn't follow.
He was heavy on rap. But at the same time, I was just like, I think for any culture, it's the same thing that we're talking about at Shake. Like wherever you are, just be unapologetically yourself. And if they will accept, they will accept. But if they don't, that's fine as well. And then I then thought, what would be the metric of success for the organizers? It did more than they expected. Breaking Michael Jackson's record, that should be unachievable.
Yeah.
So for the organizers, all this talk about it, we're talking about it now, all these mixed feelings, that's what's even making it a bigger halftime show than the one where everyone said. We talked about it before somehow, that if you only have positive supporters, you're not going as far as the guy that has haters as well. At least in today's world.
Yeah.
So for people feeling like, oh, that show is not all that, some people are watching it to say, nah, let me know what they're saying as well. Oh, that show was the best. Some people will watch it for that reason. But I guess it's not all that probably pushes people to watch it more than saying it's good. It wasn't a bad performance. There was so much happening. But you are right that it's very niche. And to do something niche on that stage, it's a question of, is it right or wrong? It's not right or wrong, but it's a question of...
Don't forget, Kendrick himself is not even a typical, like, mainstream, a typical commercial rapper, right?
He's not the most commercial rapper, yes.
You get what I mean? So that makes it still went hardcore on a Kendrick. That's like double layer to that, right?
I think the intentional beat was, it made that Not Like Us beat really clear. Because it really, if you put rap on the spectrum, considering that they finished with Not Like Us against Drake and said, hey Drake, with how hard it went with that Super Bowl performance, on the spectrum, you're not saying Drake is here, Kendrick is here. You're saying Drake is here, Kendrick is here. On the spectrum of how hardcore rap you are. Like, oh, is this the Kendrick guy? Okay. It's almost as if he's saying, I don't want you to like me. If you don't like this, you know, I don't want it. Because this is me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. He'll probably be able to retire now. Because that is massive, actually. Because he got a platform to do probably the hardest core of rap and still got this massive success.
Exactly. That's difficult, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I think as well. And then on top of that, now we have Drake's album with Party Next Door. Unfortunately, I haven't listened to it because I've had a very busy week and weekend. But have you had the opportunity to listen to it?
I had the chance to. I couldn't.
Do you know what you did now? I said,
Yeah.
I have not had the time. I have not had the opportunity. I you're like, man, guy, I could have. I cannot lie, I could have, but nah, I don't do it.
I swear, that's how I felt, man. I try to be quite independent in my thinking because I've seen a few things here and there. This sort of artist, we can extend this to the Burna Boys, the Wizkids. They have this new digital streaming thing on lock, marketing on lock. We've said this before, that no matter what they make, I see this album still being super successful. It's already topping in like 40, 50 countries, number one. It's like the processes are there. It's not new to the process. They will just do the exact same thing and they will still get one or two hits from this album. A lot of records with like numbers. It's easy these days. It's easier than before.
At least for people of their stature.
That are on that level, exactly. Yeah. So I still see this being a success, and he will manage one or two hits, and he would move on. Yeah.
Okay, so now the next point on the agenda is the game session, and I think you have something planned, Ibra. So I'll let you have that. Take us through, and then afterwards we will discuss USAID and where their money has been going.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, in the spirit of Valentine, so I thought, okay, let's do agree or disagree. It's been a while that we also
Wow,
that, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So I have like 5 questions here that I'll be asking you. I think we brushed on some of this because I'm looking at the first one. I feel like, yeah, we definitely. So, number 1, agree or disagree? Valentine's Day is just a marketing scam designed to make people spend money.
I agree. Absolutely agree. I mean, so I do agree. Yeah? Like, let me just say, I absolutely agree. But I think the people in the world, they sort of need control. I'm sorry, this might sound crazy, but they sort of need control to the point that Valentine's might be a good thing for some people that wouldn't treat their women special on other days. Does that make sense?
100%.
That it sort of reminds people and creates an opportunity to experience love again, because they just don't do it as regularly, or they don't think about it as much as other people. So even though it's a marketing scam, it might still be playing a role that we are not seeing, because but as a population, the crowd might need control.
Yeah, I feel like, isn't it crazy that women even accept this? Boiling the way you showing me love to one day out of 365 days. Isn't that crazy that it feels like a disrespect to them, no? In a sense.
Disrespect how? Bro, are you talking about the same women that we all know? A day where they could potentially get gifts, free food,
anything. The list
don't
is
worry,
endless.
we'll fight for the other days.
Yeah.
But this one that they have created for us, let's take it.
Yeah, I see.
Women,
I see
of
what
course. They're happy.
Yeah.
They're super excited about that. Yeah. Like the one day where they can be showered like that, they will fight for the other ones. But today, let me take it. That's probably the way they will see it.
So, number 2, agree or disagree? Men should be the ones planning and paying for Valentine's Day.
I can't even answer this one. I'm sorry, because I've already agreed that it's a scam. So I'm not I've agreed that it's a scam. So at this point,
that would have to be yes to yeah.
Exactly, because I'm not thinking about whether it's a woman to plan or a man to plan. But to answer from like a third person's perspective, it seems like the world still goes on that patriarchy. They will call it patriarchy. I agree. I think it's how it should be. A man should approach a woman. You ask a woman out on a date. So if we hold that as the truth, then it makes sense that the man makes the move on whether things should happen or not. But on the other hand, if we're moving towards more the way women sort of want to be in today's world, then it should be a joint planning.
So what about the other side?
No, I don't think that should be the case. Yeah, because imagine it's this lovey, mushy stuff. Imagine you as a guy just being brought into something like that without your own.
Like,
I
X5
don't want that
BMW.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean getting gifts. Yes, it should be both sides for sure. I thought you meant the planning stuff. Like imagine you coming home from work.
Yeah, planning and paying. That was the question. You know, like if you have
planning stuff without jointly doing it and stuff without my knowledge and getting surprised with flowers and stuff.
Yeah.
Gifts maybe yes, but getting surprised with, this is a crazy thing. Getting surprised with flowers can be like, oh, but it tells you one thing. This woman actually thinks about me. This woman actually likes me. And I guess this is what it tells the woman when a guy does it as well. But I would imagine that I'm not the guy that wants to get that every year or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You get it once, you sort of feel like, okay, she likes me. And I'm happy about that. But then let's dead from there. Like, let's just, let's just
let's agree.
Normal. Yeah. We have agreed that you like me, and now you can show me in other ways in the bedroom or whatever. But I mean, honestly, I won't lie to you. Gift exchange, I agree. But planning and paying for the date, I think it can happen after an argument that the woman insists that, no, let me take care of you as well. Yeah. But to expect it as a man and just wait for it to happen as a man, I don't think I agree.
Oh, like the norm. Okay, I think I get what you're... Because I'm like thinking, I mean, I want to be spoiled too, man. I want to just,
which would be, I plan for the... Let's say I do it. Being spoiled for me would be, I plan the date, pick you up. We get there, I see that you also have a car key for me. And I'm like, baby, you don't have to,
Yeah.
All right, let me have it. This is a BM or a Mercedes or whatever, or a Rolls Royce.
So agree or disagree. The third one now. If your partner doesn't get you a gift, it means they don't truly love you.
I disagree. I disagree. Like, even if they believe it and all that stuff, it's very difficult to know because this is intentions again, and there are several reasons why that might happen. Even myself, just knowing, it's possible to even forget that it's the 14th of February or how close it is. Not getting a gift from your partner does not mean they don't love you. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I disagree.
For several reasons.
Yeah.
4, agree or disagree. Posting your Valentine's Day's gift online is just a way to show off and seek validation.
Yeah, I don't see any way that I think about that I disagree. Let's say, I'm just appreciating the love of my life. To what? Like, so that I know that he got you a car or he got you flowers.
Have you been on Instagram today? Oh, yes.
Yeah, a lot of flowers. Yeah.
More than in the US, but in Nigeria, it's like...
Yeah, in Nigeria, it's crazy. Like, bro, I mean, we do that. Yeah. And I'm like, why? So you got the flowers, so what? Get the off my platform or whatever. Like, what is that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to do?
It's like the cool thing to do. I was like, everywhere was red.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that one because I still don't understand. Show your love to the people for what? They're not going to. And this is the fake thing because we know how relationships are. It's not all rosy. And a lot of people see all those things and they lie to themselves about what relationships about properly until they hear that 1 week after Valentine they broke up and she's pregnant. She won't have summer again because she will be giving birth in summer. She'll have a big belly in summer without man, even though they use Valentine to lie to us. Nah. Just keep it cool, man. Keep it cool, yeah.
And Nigeria, we like drama. We like all these
our men,
stuff,
Niger men, we participate in certain things. Like the way we lock into this participation of the one-way giving thing, like it's a one-way thing in Nigeria. How many men did you see say they got something?
Probably a singlet and a boxer.
It made sense when it was cultural in that sense in the past, because a woman would do some other things at home. A woman would, but now that we are all playing the same game, nah.
They're now all equal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, unacceptable. I just watched a video of salary rates in the US, and two things that I learned from that video. I saw it. I'm like, interesting. Two things that I learned from that video: that average salary in the US, average household, they're still earning below 100K, and like it's actually quite common nowadays that the woman earns more than the husband. Imagine that. And like you will just kill yourself if you now say I have to. You know, there's so many very high earning women successful, which makes sense. I'm not against that, but I think it also means that we need to learn how to be able to then coexist with a bit of balance. I'm still all for the woman taking more of the responsibility, to be honest. Like, it should push you, it should drive you, because there are natural hindrances to a growth of a woman as well. When she has kids, when she's pregnant, period, even alone and stuff like that. There's so much happening, hormonal and all that stuff. And how far they go is already great kudos to them. But it shouldn't be the scene where all women are just, ahead of men in those workplaces or whatever, because it would just mean that something is wrong. Because men have less disturbances naturally to go for.
Yeah.
And we can even, there are some stresses that we can deal with better as well. There's some political situations that we can deal with better in that sense. Like we're built for this capitalistic world. We can take the pain and feel it better.
Oh, so then you mean men has less hindrance or more hindrance?
Less natural hindrances to go for.
Okay, because you said more, I think.
Oh, I said more. I said less.
Okay.
Which means that I would still be in support for, a man doing more in the household. And this idea of, women making more than their man and all that stuff, it's fine. But it cannot be that this is now the standard approach.
Then it can, my money is my money.
No. It cannot be my money is my money. I think every couple have to come together as a unit. But I would still recommend that men carry the most weight. Just again to still speak to that natural part of a woman.
Exactly.
Hypergamy and stuff.
And to yours also. At least I believe.
And to yours as a man.
Yeah.
At least for this generation, maybe the because Gen X might be like, oh Benny. Gen X might be seeing something else. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think with Gen X we'll see a lot of stay-at-home husband for real, because it's already a lot with Gen Z and stuff. So
even with that, good for them. Yeah, because it's like the connection of how we feel, and I think there are ladies as well. The girls in this generation, Gen Z and Gen X, they also don't feel exactly like the millennials and other generation. So I think there'll be a balance. Yeah,
they'll be fine.
Omar,
I used to be worried bro, Gen Z, Gen Alpha is still quite young. I'm not worried. Like they will be fine.
Gen X, it's Gen Alpha. Gen X is above me. I keep saying Gen X. Gen Alpha, sorry.
Bro, I'm not even worried about that. I'm like, you guys will be fine. Don't worry.
They'll be fine. I swear. Everything that we are worried about is only from our lens.
From our perspective.
But I realize that they see it very differently. Communication, all those things that we bother about, they live in a different world.
Yeah.
And they are well
enlightened.
Equipped, exactly.
Yeah.
Well equipped to face that world. So they'll be fine.
So the last one, this sounds sort of let's see. Agree or disagree? Being single on Valentine's Day is actually better than being in a relationship.
So the only reason I would disagree here, I wanted to say, well, because the statement said being single on Valentine's Day is better than being in a relationship on Valentine's Day. I think none is better than each other. Whichever situation you find yourself in, you make the best out of it. Yeah, which means that I would just disagree with that statement outrightly. Minus Valentine's Day, in fact,
Exactly.
Being in a relationship is not better than being single. Being single is not better than being in a relationship. It's just life,
Yeah.
We go through these things.
I agree.
Nice. That was good. We've had a bit of fun with that one, and now we're going to go into something a little bit more hypothetical. I want to say it outrightly that we have a bit of information here and there, pieces put together here and there, and we're not saying everything that we'll say from this point on is fact, yeah, but we would like to
Put a disclaimer.
yeah,
Disclaimer.
I beg you, hypothetical and allegedly, I beg
Come on, I give
you.
you.
Well, it's about, I forgot the name. I think it was Kennedy actually. That was reporting where some of the USAID money was going to, and in that rant or in that report, he talked about how they have been funding Al Qaeda, Boko Haram in Nigeria. We are Nigerians, by the way, with the US taxpayers' money. And this, if you know what Boko Haram has done to Nigeria for the last 15 years or more, if you know how they've destabilized the economy, how they've destabilized the northern part or the northeastern part of Nigeria, how they've displaced people, how they've created corruption, how many military and paramilitary officers and police officers have died at the hand of these terrorists. To hear that people that we thought were allies with, were our allies, the US, could have been sponsoring them for one reason or the other. How did that make you feel, Ibra?
Yeah. I mean, I saw the video. I feel like, to be honest, I feel like, I don't want to say I'm a conspiracy theorist now, but I do believe that there are like a lot of shady things going on in world politics that maybe for most of us we might not really know about unless you're like inside of the game. Yeah, we are not sure whether this is true or not. We are just discussing based on what the video that's going viral online. But it does make me feel like some of the assumptions that I have are true, in terms of like powerful countries will do anything to stay powerful regardless of the consequences of some of their actions. I don't think they necessarily care in doing right.
And when you think about what do they benefit from that in terms of control, in terms of keeping Africa down, because look, every African president can sit in front of us and tell us today that Africa will become great once Nigeria wakes up. This is the truth. Because Nigeria is 1/5 of the entire population of Africa. If just think about the people that are living the best quality of life in Europe, probably only about half of Europe, because we've got Eastern Europe, we've got a bunch of European countries that are just so as well. Do you know what I mean? Like even in the US, we have a bunch of their cities that's like the old North America. When you have half or 1/4, 1/5 of the continent doing well, the rest will benefit from that for one way or the other, through migration, through ripple effects or whatever. But when you have Nigeria still sleeping, it would be a very difficult thing for Africa to wake up. So even without looking at what might have been done from the perspective of Nigeria versus US, but more from Africa versus US, it even adds more pain to it if this is true.
I was seeing a lot of, not a lot, like a video that Very Dark Man made, and he sort of did some little research about the topic, and he was bringing up this video of Goodluck Jonathan.
The level of interference by the Obama's government was very overwhelming. It's not as if I couldn't have won the election even with that. But if, by my own thinking, and also the way some other people look at it, they go outside the normal diplomatic relationship, then it should be mentioned. Sending that person to Nigeria at the eve of election, after Obama even issued a statement directing Nigerians to vote for the next chapter, that tells you something.
And he was really talking about things that he saw and he knew during his second election. That was against Buhari, I think. That yeah, right. That it was certain that Obama influenced a lot of things in Nigeria, especially with the cheaper girls, and I'm like, wow. And he said
And
he
you
felt
know,
like, yeah, that was like quite shady.
Obama publicly backed Buhari publicly. He
Yeah,
backed Buhari publicly, and even Buhari used the same election slogan, change, as the
yeah.
very first time.
I remember like during the Chibok girls thing, you wonder why Michelle Obama, it was like not on the same level. Something, it was a campaign like Black Lives Matters or something, bring back our Chibok, like
Bingo girls.
bring back
And
our girls.
Sandra Ezekwesili was always in front of Villa for more than 2 years, man.
Yeah,
Bring back our
girls.
protest.
Yeah, so Good
Yeah,
Luck
bring
sort
back.
of said like there was a financial campaign that was backed by Obama's administration to sort of make him lose the election because, like you said, that they supported Buhari and stuff. So that was like election interference. So I think if you are adding one and two, it's looking like somehow.
It could be,
Yeah,
right?
it could be.
And now
Yeah.
it's an American security personnel saying, look, we funded Boko Haram. We funded Al Qaeda. I mean, you might say that this person has the incentive to do so because it's now the Trump regime that has closed down the USAID. And they want to say, look, your taxpayers' money, well, it wasn't going into creating food and whatever. And it's the truth. Like, when you look at the amount of money that the NGOs and funding organizations are sending to Africa for something like, oh, we want to do something with regards to food. We want to do... Nothing changes. This money is definitely being diverted somehow. I used to think it was being diverted into the lifestyle of NGO workers.
That's also true. I think both can be true.
Yeah, it's true. I used to think that was the only one. But now looking at the amount of money being diverted, I think it cannot be just alone, all that. I used to think it was super expensive to bribe senators and politicians and all that stuff to make sure that there's not a lot of investigation into how the money is being spent. But now thinking about it, yeah, it could be that a huge chunk of that money goes to terrorists as well. And I'll say the reason I said this. The Chief of Defense Staff said that Amnesty International used to go they said they wanted to stay neutral. Yeah. So being neutral meant that they won't support the military, they won't be against the Boko Haram, they won't support the Boko Haram as well. And what they were doing was the military would fight the Boko Haram guys, they will get injuries and all that stuff. Amnesty International will go in, treat their wounded people and all that. As if they just want them to... Shouldn't it be that as a terrorist organization, you should be allowed to die off if you get injured from a terrorist act? They go in there to treat their... And they say they're neutral. This is coming from the current Chief of Defense Staff of Nigeria. And recently, before this news came from the security, I think it was Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr., before these things were coming out of his mouth, we have to check if he's the one, but yeah, before that, the Chief of Defense Staff was on Al Jazeera talking about all this, talking about how the international organizations and NGOs, at some point the military just had to say, nah, it's either you come with us, you choose our side, or you don't get involved at all. But of course, you know, because why go to them directly? They would say, oh, we're carrying trucks of food and all that stuff to take to people like terrorists. Like, how does this even make sense? And then they will say the truck stopped on the road or something happened. And then 3 days later, they'll go back to pick up the truck. Yeah, they'll go back to drive the truck out. Yeah, so empty truck now. Because everything in the truck has been taken. It could be weapons, could be anything. So they use these NGOs and all these aids and all that stuff to destabilize African countries. And now it's making more sense. At first, I thought it was like a soft control. When the leader of USAID said you don't control the world by military power only, I thought it was soft control. I thought it was if you give them money, if you give them fish, they won't learn how to fish. But I think we're learning how to fish fine. A lot of us are studying all over the world and all that stuff. We're learning how to fish fine. The vested interest, it's not even soft. It's direct. Yeah, if you don't secretly supply weapons to the agencies against their democracy, against their national development, if you don't secretly supply weapons, if you don't secretly fund media campaigns, then you won't be in control.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm seeing it now, because that woman said this. And the chief of defense staff that has been going around talking about how, the terrorists have had currencies like dollars and euros, and these are currencies that is even difficult to get, even if you have money and you go legally to a bank. Like, how do they have so much access to dollars? At first we thought maybe a very wealthy politician, a very wealthy northerner, could be the one funding them, which could still be true as well. But why do that in dollars? Because you really need these dollars. Why give them dollars within Nigeria? Why not just give them naira?
Bro, for sure, man. That's more than meets the high when it comes to world politics, when it comes to things going on in terms of powerful and less powerful countries. For sure, we are all adults, right? But I've always felt it strongly. The influence, especially in a lot of the West African countries, I haven't been, like, I don't know much about the East or South Africans. I mean, aside from the news, but the influence of some powerful countries in West Africa still to today, you can still you should be able to still connect some dots, like, yeah, why are these things happening? Why are these things not happening? Like, people have vested interests. Let me just put it that way.
And you know what's interesting? This chief of defense staff was denied Canadian visa. To deny the chief of defense staff of Nigeria a Canadian visa, like, my conspiracy would be that now that he's talking to Al Jazeera and all that stuff about what the West might have done to keep Nigeria in turmoil, maybe they don't want him to be able to.
Should he even need a visa? Yes. I think that's the question. Should someone like that
usually the moment you become chief of defense staff, you should get a black passport or something.
Exactly.
Like
diplomatic pass.
Diplomatic pass. Yeah. I think it's black. That's what I meant. But you should get a diplomatic pass and go wherever you go to. But
yeah.
These are the problems that we're talking to, and I think they actually do need visas, because I remember when I was working in Villa, there used to be visa applications for some officials, but this used to be sent directly from the presidency to the embassy. It wasn't that you had to do it individually, which means that the chief of defense staff could have had the military HQ send this application directly.
Exactly.
And I don't know the nitty gritty. It was just this came up when they were discussing with the chief intelligence officer of the country, like the chief security officer of the country, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, and the chief of defense staff just said, "Oh, I was denied visa," and the man was like, "You see, that's what we're talking about. To hell with Canada," because it was pissed as hell. But
it's crazy stuff.
But anyways, that one is very interesting. But now, still on the topic of conspiracy theory, in recent times there have been news. I think it's Afghan, the three big times. There was one where an Afghan doctor ran into people in a Christmas market in Germany last December, injured over 300 people, killed some people. And then also at the beginning of this year in Aschaffenburg in Bavaria, an Afghan guy stabbed and killed a few people, like 7 or something, And there's something interesting about these guys, by the way. And then also last week Thursday, was it Thursday or Wednesday? One guy, Afghan guy as well, drove a car into about 34 people here in Munich. Talking about the sudden radicalization or sudden public attacks that we're seeing from immigrants in Germany, and it's getting super big. I have a conspiracy in mind that I think I wanted to share. So, at least I've been in Germany for about 7 years, and I know that you don't hear this kind of attacks and all these things in Germany like that. And suddenly, the far-right party, AfD, this far-right party, by the way, is publicly supported by the Vice President of the US. He came here and it was publicly supporting the AfD. This pissed Olaf Scholz, the current Chancellor, up. It was like, this is unacceptable. You can't come here and do that, But he did that. So the far-right movement, and if you look at how fascism grows, they actually go for alliance country by country. This is what happened when the World War II was going to happen. They tried also in the UK to grow fascism. They tried in most countries in Europe and stuff like that. Italy, it worked, but it divided Italy. So not the whole Italy was actually part of the Axis forces. But that's what happens. So now if the far-right movement in the US and all that stuff, and if you see in the UK, I feel like there might be, again, the interference of the leader of the movement at the moment, which you can say is the US, in other elections across the world. And how best to do it. So AFD currently is polling second in the election polls. Second most popular party in Germany. This is a party that goes Ausländer raus. Which means all foreigners out. They're even going as far as saying, even if you've got citizenship, we'll probably revoke it. Which
That's mental, man.
yeah. And then how crazy is it that suddenly with the rise of the AFD, nothing big has happened in the international relationship of Afghanistan or the Islamic world and Germany. Things have been exactly what it has been. And suddenly, in the space of just a few months, massive terrorist attacks. So for me, at first I was like, okay, that's a bit weird, right? Because that made AFD more popular. People that were on the fence, people that thought they're like, nah. The moment the news comes out and it's another Afghan, it's another immigrant. Oh, yeah, these people are doing something crazy. I think it would be weird if you don't feel like that at some point. Like, okay, why do you come to this country and do that? And the attacks are crazy. Driving a car at full speed into a crowd. Do you know what that looks like? It's hitting them, boom, boom, and then climbing on top. Boom, 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 boom. Like, that's mental. Now, that's not what's most crazy about it. What's now most crazy that now made me feel like, nah, something is behind this. And if anyone is not talking about that, it's because we're just being silly. Because the attackers, they all have wanted, they all have arrest warrants out. So the doctor from the Magdeburg Christmas market in December has been labeled a terrorist in the Middle East already.
Yeah.
And Germany decided to grant him asylum and not send him back. So he was still in Germany. The guy from the Aschaffenburg knife attack had 130 offenses, fines with the police. 130. And I was thinking, when I was told, well, if it was minor offenses, 130, he was loud there, he worked on the garden there, he should still be in prison for 130 minor offenses. But this is not because of that. He has shown that exactly. He has shown that he doesn't care about the rule of law.
Yeah.
But it's not 130 minor offenses. 130, he broke someone's bone. 130 crazy offenses, and he's still walking around free in Germany. The guy from yesterday, from the attack last week as well, had investigations ongoing and, I think some arrest warrants as well out in Germany with all the cameras we have, with all the, you think, and he's driving. Now, my conspiracy theory would be these guys know that they are done for already, right? So what if they go, we'll take care of your family, you just have to do this, we'll make it big on the news, you will be arrested, you'll probably get whatever sentence you get, but your family will be good. What if? Because to the fact that they fit this profile of people that were done for in society, that's what made it even more weird for me. It was already weird that it's suddenly happening, and then it's suddenly happening and coinciding with the rise of the far right. Yeah. And then on top of that, they all have this criminal profile. Yeah. And they are freely moving around in Germany. That's weird. Yeah. And I keep saying in Germany because we know Germany is there's strong policing in Germany as well.
Yeah, maybe I don't say it out loud a lot, but I always think about things like this when I just see something happening. I'm always thinking, what could be at play? Because I came to the realization and conclusion that we are all pawns. in the hands of the powerful people, the politicians, the government of the country you are in, and all. So I'm almost always trying to see what could be the play here. You know?
But anyway, I think we've done quite a bit. Yeah. Thanks everyone. It's a very long episode this time around, and please do not forget to follow, like, subscribe, do everything that you can do to engage and get some of these stories and opinions that we're sharing out there, because I think it's important for some of these conversations to become viral. Guys, get it going.
Click.
And yeah, cheers. Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.